Hello guys, in this video we will see how we can keep two Oracle databases in sync with each other. We will do this with the help of procedures and DB links. Of course there are other ways to achieve this. For this I am using a single database, but this will also work if you have two databases in two separate locations. In this video I will be using the single database where I will be creating two users. One will be the local user and it will have its own instance, and the other one will be the remote user which will also have its own instance. And I will also create database links by the name rem and loc, that is remote and local, which will be used to update the databases. Say in the local user, if we insert something, and we will do the insertion, deletion and update with the help of stored procedures, and in the stored procedures itself we will use the database link, that is rem for remote, which will update the same data in the remote database. And similarly, if the remote user enters something in the database, that will be updated in the local database with the help of the loc db link. Okay, so let's see how it's done. I am using Oracle Database 11g to achieve this. You can use any database, it should work fine. And I will also be using the PL SQL developer by All Round Automations to make things easy. I will leave the links to both in the description below. So let's start our PL SQL developer and create a new command window. Okay, so first of all we will connect to the system user, and the password will be the password that you entered while installing the database. So just log into that. Once we are logged in, we are going to create the remote user and the local user. The syntax for creating the user is create user followed by username, then the keyword identified by, and then the password for that user. So with the help of this, let's create our local user. So I will select this command and hit run. Okay, so now let's create the remote user as well. Okay, so that's done. Now that we have created these users, we have to grant them roles or privileges. Without these roles and privileges, they won't be able to create table or connect to the database. So to grant a role, you can use this string syntax, that is grant followed by the roles that you want to give, then the to keyword followed by the username of the user that you are trying to give the permissions to. So right now we will just give the permissions connect and resource. This will help the users to connect to the database and allocate resources for tables, procedures, etc. So let's run this. This was done successfully, and similarly for the remote user as well. Okay, so now we have created the users and given them sufficient privileges to perform the tasks. Now let's create the database links for them. You can think of these database links as keys with which these users access the database. It's like sharing your access with someone else. Syntax for creating a DB link is create public database link followed by the name of the link, then the keyword connect to, and then the name of the user followed by identified by, and inside double quotes you can give the password of the user, and then using followed by the address of the database, means where this user is actually located. So this consists of the IP address followed by a colon and then the port number slash the global name of the database. So the point is, how do we get these informations? For IP address, you can simply run ipconfig if you are on Windows to find your IP address. I am just using 127.0.0.1, that is the local host, because I am working on a local database. The next thing is the port. To find the port, you have to search for listeners.ora file in the install directory. That is the directory where you have installed your database. I have installed mine inside D drive in these folders, so I'll just go here and search for listener.ora. Okay, so I will get a bunch of files. Okay, then you have to open the file that is inside the folder server, network and admin. So let's double click and open this file with notepad. Okay, so in this file we can see that the port number is 1521, and if you want to change the port number you can change it here itself in the future, but right now we are going to use the default port, that is 1521. And also the default listener service is XE, which is given here. But if for some reason that XE is not given there and you don't know your global name, that is the next parameter that we need to create our DB links, you can simply run this command, select start from global name to find the global name. So let's run this command. As you can see, the global name for my database is XE. Okay, so now that we have all that, let's create the DB links for our users. So the first one will be create public database link. I'm giving the name LOC for local to connect to the local user that is identified by 1234 using the IP address followed by the port number and the global name of my database. Okay, so with that said, let's create our database link for the local user by running this command. So that's done. And now let's do the same for our remote user. This time I'll be using the name REM. Okay, so that's done as well. Next we are going to create the schema. For this we will need to log in into our local user account. To log into your local user, just go to this session tab, and first let's log out of our system user. Okay, so now let's click on log on and give our username, that is local user, followed by our password, that is 1234. Okay, so now we are logged in as the local user. As you can see at the top, it says local user at XE. So we are going to create a table called person, which will have two attributes, that is name of type varchar2, which will be our primary key, and next will be of name age, that is of type number. So let's create this table person by running this piece of code. Okay, so the table is created. Let's see by using the command desc person, that's describe person, to see if the table was created. Okay, the table was created. Now we are going to create a stored procedure for inserting inside this table. So the name of the procedure is insert person. It will receive two parameters, that is name and age, and inside the procedure we are going to insert into the person table. Okay, that's well and fine, but we are also going to insert inside our remote table using our remote debugging, that is REM. So let's see how it's done. For this I will be using the execute immediate statement. So what this does is it takes the code between these single braces and dynamically changes the variables inside it, that is name and age, with the variables that we are supplying after the using keyword. So after that we will just commit it and log the line that is insert success and end the procedure. So let's create this procedure. Okay, so that was done. In PL SQL we can go to this objects window and see what procedures are installed. So we can see the insert person's procedure was created. Similarly we are going to do for the update procedure. The update procedure is named update person. It will receive the old name and a new age for the person. So what we are going to do is we will update the table person, and we will set the name as new name and the age as new age for that entry where the name is matching with our old name. And we will do the same thing for our remote database as well, but inside this execute immediate statement, the only difference being after the table name we are going to write @ followed by the DB links name. This will specify that okay, we are trying to update the database which is stored in this link that we created earlier. Okay, so let's create the update procedure as well. Okay, we can see the update procedure was created. Similarly, we will create the delete procedure which will receive the old name, that is the name which will be deleted now. So delete from person where name equals old name, and similarly in the execute immediate we will remove it from the remote database as well by using the @rem keyword after the table's name, and we will commit and log the line delete success. So let's create this procedure as well. Okay, so now we can see that we have 3 procedures with us and we are done with the local user. So let's log into our remote user. So we'll go to the session tab and log off, and then log on to our remote user. Okay, so we are now logged into a remote user, as you can see at the top of the screen. So for the remote user as well, we will do the similar thing, that is create the table. We can see that the table was created. Yeah. Next we will create the insert procedure similarly, but here you can see instead of using the remote keyword we are using the local keyword, because we are going to update the local database from our remote database this time. So let's create the insert procedure as well. So as you can see, the procedure was created. Similarly, I will create the update and delete procedure. It's the same as the local user one, only difference being this @loc. Okay, so now we are all set to test this table. So to begin, I will just insert few values inside our tables and see if those values are getting inserted in both the local as well as the remote or not. To see that okay, so let's run this first. Okay, that got executed. So to check at the local database, we can run the command person @local, that is the person table which is stored at the local destination, and person which is stored at the remote. So let's see local first. So we can see that all the 3 values that we were trying to insert is now inserted inside the table for our local database. Now let's run it for our remote database. Okay, so as we can see, this also got updated for our remote database. Even though we are only logged in as the remote user, it got updated in both the remote as well as the local user. So let's update. Let's change this entry of Aditya to Saikat and the age from 21 to 20. Okay, so that got executed, and let's see what's the status of our local table. As you can see, the name Aditya is gone and it has been replaced with Saikat, and the age has also been updated. Similarly, let's check our remote table. Yeah, you can see the same thing has been updated here. Now the final thing to test is the delete procedure. So for that, let's log off from the remote user, and suppose the local user is trying to do it this time. Okay, so we are now logged in as the local user. Let's check the status of our tables. Okay, so in the local we have these 3 names, Yash, Saikat and Shubham, and similarly in the remote one as well. And we are going to delete this entry for Yash. Okay, so let's try this. We are right now logged in as a local user. Okay, now that's done. So let's see the state of the table. Okay, so in the local database, as you can see, the name Yash has been deleted, and similarly for the remote database, the person has been deleted from the table. So that was it, guys. This is how you can keep 2 databases in sync with the help of procedures, and these procedures can make use of DB links to perform operations on both the databases simultaneously. The benefit of this being your database will always be in consistent state, that is similar for both the local and remote. Of course, there are other ways to implement this, but this was one way that I wanted to show you in this video. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. Do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the video, and thanks again for watching.